Hello, everybody. I just wanted to jump on here and quickly share some personal experiences that I've had over the course of the last 4 or 5 days. And just to express the message of how powerful our minds are, truly, and how our minds can run the show if we are not witnessing our thoughts and witnessing what thoughts we are believing to be true and attaching some kind of story, whether it be about an experience from the past or an experience that we are going to be experiencing in the future. My story has to do a lot with fear and how I had to face some fears of my own. So I'll bring it into context, and I'm sorry I'm a little nasally here. Still battling with a head cold, I suppose. Just being very, very energetically sensitive lately, as many of us are. We did get another giant blast of energy over this past weekend. I felt it the night before the new moon in Pisces, so this would have been Saturday night for me. And we had some pretty intense storms go on where I live, very high winds. There was even some thunderstorms. But anyway, it was Saturday night, and I was feeling a lot of energy swirling around. I could hear the wind whipping through the house, like all around the house. And I'm laying in bed, and I had turned everything off. I shut my phone down. I turned all the lights off. Everything was turned off, and I was just lying there, feeling and sensing all of the energies coming in. And I was aware that there was on top of having an actual storm, we were also having a geomagnetic storm from the sun. It had reached, I believe, KP 5 or 6, which is pretty high. So I was witnessing the energies in my body, and I could feel it come through the crown and through the third eye. I could feel the vibrations, and I started to, and this is going to sound really weird, I know, because it was a weird experience to have, but I could feel it vibrating in my teeth. I could feel my teeth shifting, and you can actually see my teeth shifted in this direction. I was calm, I was not tense, and I was actually just like, wow, this is a lot of energy. And then all of a sudden, I have a big zap, just zapped me. My back is out still. It's very painful and sore, but my front tooth chipped just on its own, randomly, boom, chipped into my mouth. And I'm like, ah, that's when I had a full-blown anxiety attack, freak out. Oh my God. And I jumped up out of bed and I reacted. I was like, it's Saturday night. I can't call the dentist. What am I going to do? It was really, really bizarre. And so I was able to finally get calm after a while, but I was really upset. And I was kind of freaked out. And I'm used to having running energy through my body, but this was so much. It broke my tooth, my front tooth. So, a big fear of mine, I must add, going to the dentist from my past experiences. So come Monday morning, I call the dentist, and they're like, we don't have any openings until, we might be able to get you in at the end of April, but most likely it's going to be the beginning of May. And I was like, what? No, you don't have any emergency? And they're like, no, I'm sorry. We only have one dentist now. We're down a dentist, blah, 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 blah. Call the other office in the town that's close to me. So I called them, and they were like, oh yeah, can you come in at 3? And I was like, yes. And then they asked me what insurance I had, and I told them, and they're like, oh, we don't take that insurance. So I'm like, what? Same office, same practice, just anyway. I called my insurance company, and I got a list of dentists in my area that took the insurance, and every single one that I called could not get me in for at least a month. This was Monday morning. By the time I finally took the closest appointment I could get, I hung up and I just lost it. I cried. I felt like a child, like a helpless, vulnerable child, all alone in this weird experience with energy, with nobody to talk to about it. And now my front tooth is chipped, and I'm gonna have to eat soup for a month. So I guess, I surrendered to it. I accepted what was and went on with my day. I left to do some work that I had to do, and I did get some supportive phone calls from family that really helped kind of ground me again and put things in perspective. And I did get some news also that was nice to hear. So anyway, then this is all yesterday. By the time I get home, as soon as I got home, and I had actually forgotten all about my tooth at that point. I was just like so acceptance and like move on. I get home and I get a call from my dentist's office like, we suddenly have an opening for tomorrow, 1:30. Can you come? I'm like, yes, please. So I was like so excited. Yay, universe it always works out. But I literally had I spiraled all the way down. I was a blubbering idiot for a good portion of the morning, Monday morning, until I finally reached acceptance. I think I went through the whole grief process about my tooth. So long story short, it was the original dentist. And actually, part of me was relieved to take the other appointment at a new dentist, because my original dentist, my last experience with my original dentist was less than pleasant. And some of the things that he had said, it scared me. I didn't feel like he was gentle and kind and caring. And so suddenly those fears came back. Oh my gosh, I have to go back to this dentist that I have this fear with. And see, that experience that I had last year, I think it was, with this dentist, kept an impression in my mind of this dentist is not gentle or compassionate or kind, and is just, like the stories in my mind. It was insane how it really brought my fears to life all over again, and listening to them. And I finally stopped and I'm like, what am I doing? And I witnessed my thoughts, the stories that were going on in my mind about this dentist that I now, grateful that I got to get a quick appointment to get in finally. But then there was this overlying fear of actually going to the dentist, all the way up until the moment I went to the dentist office. It's a beautiful day here today. I spent all morning outside communing with nature, talking to the guides, and they really did. They said, you got it. Just trust. You practice what you preach. And I'm witnessing my thoughts. Yes, I understand. Yes, these thoughts are based off of past experiences, and it does not necessarily mean that I'm going to have that experience again. And what they said to me, what the mantra was in my mind the entire time I was in the dentist today, was I am open and welcome to the highest, greatest possible outcome for myself. And I just kept saying this over and over and over again. Well, don't you know, I go into the dentist, and not only was he kind and gentle, I barely even felt the Novocaine needle going into my upper mouth. He was so quick and patient and nice, and just a complete opposite of what my experience was the prior time. So leaving that appointment, I just kept hearing, I'm very grateful for having the experience, because this showed me how powerful my thoughts are. And if I would have like followed suit with my past, first of all, complaining about the healthcare system and the medical system, and like nobody's going to get anybody in on any kind of emergency, nobody cares about anybody anymore, it's just a dollar sign, and like these were all the things that were going on in my head until I finally shut it down. I noticed it. I'm like, stop, I hear you thoughts, we're not going down that route. I surrender, I accept what is, and I am open to the possibility that somebody's going to call me and bring me in earlier. Damn if that didn't happen that same day. Same thing again with having to go to the dentist. I witnessed the thoughts, I witnessed the anxiety and the fear and all of the impressions that came up into my mind's eye from past experiences. And I said, okay, we're shutting that down. We're shutting that down. That was just an experience that I had, and it does not have to define my experience going forward. And it didn't. So I wanted to share that with all of you, because I mean, even though it seems trivial, it was a big deal to me. And I was able to get my tooth fixed in a very kind and gentle way, and everything worked out beautifully. But I can totally see how, when we can't stop the thoughts are there. The thoughts are not us. They're not ours, but they are based off of our past experiences, plus based off of what other people say and their past experiences, plus just the collective jargon that goes on. What's important is that we can become the witnesser of these thoughts. And are we actually attaching to these thoughts? Are we believing these thoughts to be true, even though they haven't happened yet? Are we believing these thoughts to be the narrative for our experience? When I was able to finally witness that and then shut it down, the whole entire trajectory turned all the way around for me completely, from being not able to get my tooth fixed into any dentist in my area, and I was willing to drive an hour and a half away for the closest appointment that I could get, which was still a month away. From not being able to even get into a dentist to get my tooth fixed, to the same day getting into the original dentist the following day, to also having an actual good experience with kind people that were compassionate and cared about me. That is the difference, and that is the power of our minds. I wanted to share this for all of you, and I hope that you can find resonance in this for you and your life experiences, because this is the driving force for us all. The mind runs the show. Much love to you. Bye.